Yeah, hey guys, welcome to another video. I was thinking about something this morning as I was getting ready to go to work, and I said I wanted to just talk about it. And it may not make sense to some of you guys, but I may be wrong, I may be right, but you can't fault a man for thinking. I think that's the problem with our society. We just tend to not think. We tend to leave everything to the experts, and we just render our own brains incapacitated to even delve deeper into what the experts are telling us. Because sometimes if an expert tells you something, it's smart for you as a critical thinker to say, okay, these are the things that I know, these are the things that I don't know. But if I observe something or hear something that doesn't connect the dots for me, then I'm gonna ask questions and raise an alarm to get clarity. So I was thinking about something when it comes down to little children and their immune systems, right? You remember when a child is born, what do they normally do? All right, they're normally always peeing and pooping constantly, right? When a child is born, when a newborn comes into the world, their bodies are perfect. But we're told in our world, in our society, that babies are weak. Yes, they may be physically weak. We understand that their muscles aren't built, their skeletal frame isn't fully developed. We get that. But in terms of their ability to ward off diseases and ward off impurities from their bodies, they're perfect. So they're pooping a lot because what's happening is that their bodies are functioning at an optimal capacity to the point where they're constantly excreting toxins. And the excretion of toxins means that you are pooping stuff out of your system. Correct? Okay. So when a baby or a newborn, or you could say newborn, let's say even a toddler, they're constantly going to the restroom. They're pooping. And because at that time they haven't been introduced to many of the toxic foods that we as adults are, constantly putting inside of our guts, right? So the baby is constantly pooping. So that's a way to excrete toxins out of the body. Okay, that's why it's a problem when adults don't go to the restroom regularly to do the number two. It means that you're constipated, you're backed up, your body is literally full of shit. Okay, that's the way it works. That's why your breath stinks. You're eating a lot of sugary foods that create bacteria in your mouth. The bad bacteria is overwhelming the good bacteria, so therefore the good bacteria cannot defend itself to get rid of the bad bacteria. So when bad bacteria is more prevalent inside the body, you're gonna stink. You're gonna stink when you sweat. Your armpits, your glands are gonna stink. Your breath is gonna stink, and you're gonna try to mask it with gum, and you're gonna try to mask it with mouthwash. But it doesn't mask it. It's like spraying cologne over shit. It doesn't mask it. It actually makes it worse. It dries out your mouth even more. But that's another subject for another day. What I'm trying to tell you guys is that when a baby is born, okay, the baby is constantly pooping because the baby is constantly excreting toxins. They're peeing all the time, which is a good thing. No doctor is going to say, oh, we got to stop the baby from pooping because the baby is pooping too much. So let's give it one of our Caucasian concocted European drugs, toxic drug, to make the baby stop pooping. No, it's a normal bodily function made to regenerate the body, to excrete toxins that the body does not need. The body takes what it needs and the body excretes what it does not need. Okay, now what happens when little kids start school, whether it's daycare or early learning center or pre-K? Most kids always have runny noses. They're sneezing. Okay, I want to ask you a question. I just told you, I prefaced this video by saying that babies, when they're born, have the perfect bodies. Because the perfect bodies in terms of expelling and excreting toxins out of their biome, all right, out of their internal faculties. They're constantly they're at the apex. So any little impurity that comes in, they're pushing it out. Okay, we as the adults, we're desensitized to all the impurities, and that's what they call immunity. No, that's the whole medical system is flipped. And I just had this epiphany this morning. I could be totally wrong, but I'm going to share it anyway. When children start school, little ones. They're sneezing, runny noses. We have been taught that, yeah, little children's immune systems are weak because that's why they always have runny noses. So we need to protect the little kids. No. Number one, little children have a higher degree of melatonin in their genetics, in their DNA. Why is that important? Because melatonin is the hormone of balance, of civility. And any medicine that you take that works well with melatonin is a good drug. If you take a medicine and it impacts your melatonin in a negative way, it's a bad drug. So children are already operating at the optimal capacity, as I've said a gazillion times in this video. So when you're told and taught that, oh, kids have runny noses and they're always sick because their immune systems are weak, that's not true. Their immune systems are strong, which is why actually human beings don't even have an immune system. Having an immune system is actually dumb because it means that you're training your body to get used to harboring bacteria and harboring harmful toxins. That's what you're essentially saying when you say that you have a good immune system. It means that your body is good to keep toxins in it. All right? And that's not what we want for our bodies. We don't want a body that's just used to just keeping toxins in. Because little children's bodies are perfect, all right, the older they get, the more imperfect it is, they're more susceptible to react, to have a hyperenzymatic response, okay? An enzymatic response, these are proteins that help to push out the toxins, all right, excreting those toxic cells and excreting anything in the body that's harmful. They're going to have a hyperactive response to that. What do I mean by hyperactive? It's hyperactive because it's functioning at an optimal pace, at an optimal capacity. So they'll always have runny nose because our environment is inundated with pollution. Okay, the air we breathe is polluted. Okay, the radio wave frequencies that we have all over in these buildings with the 5G and the radiation, they're more susceptible to that because they're more sensitive to that. They're more susceptible to the impacts, and the impact of those things hits them so much to the point where they're going to have a symptomatic response. I'm not going to say an immune response. I'm going to say a symptomatic response because there's a symptom. The symptom is the effect of what you're getting. So, for instance, if I punch somebody in the eye and they get a black eye, the symptom of them getting punched is the black eye. The black eye is the effect of the punch. Okay? The cause was the punch. The effect was the black eye. The cause was the radiation. The cause was the polluted air. The cause was the stress, because little kids do get stressed when they're pulled away from their parents at a young age, all right, and they're forced to go to a place where they don't know who the people are. They start crying a lot. Yeah, that's why they have a runny nose, because their bodies are so sensitive, all right, and they're always gonna their bodies are gonna be in a constant how should I say it? A constant they're going to be in a constant flow of continually getting rid of anything that is going to hinder their cells, okay? So psychological stress can cause sicknesses, what we call sicknesses, but it will actually trigger a symptomatic response. You guys call it an immune response. I don't call it an immune response. I call it a symptomatic response. And then sometimes, usually because the blood-brain, something to do with the blood-brain barrier, and because the ligaments and the tissues of the child aren't fully developed, usually when they have a symptomatic response, it's usually shown on the biggest organ of the body. What's the biggest organ of the body? It's the epidermis. The epidermis is your skin. So a lot of the times you'll see kids having rashes, and people are like, oh, kids are so weak, we need to put creams and we need to give them all these medicines. No. The reason why children have runny noses, skin rashes, coughing, sneezing, is because their bodies are more perfect than ours. They're showing us, little children's bodies, their reactions, the symptomatic responses that their bodies exude, that their bodies illustrate, is a clear example that we are living in a very toxic field environment. They're showing us that. So this idea that, oh, I'll go all year, I never get sick, you're full of shit. Excuse my language, but I literally mean that. I mean, you're full of caca, boo-boo, bile. Because a person, we know these people. They may go a week without going to the restroom doing number 2, or sometimes they may do the number 2, maybe once or twice a week. Me, I go every day, sometimes twice a day. because of the things I eat. My diet is high in fiber. I'm eating a lot of foods that are nutritionally dense and that are filled with microbiome and good bacteria, and the good bacteria helps to push out the bad bacteria, excrete the toxins. So we shouldn't be looking at children as like they're weak. Just because a child is physically weak, let's not get the physicality part convoluted, causing a convolution in terms of how we rate the chemical aspect of a child. The chemical aspect of children are perfect, which is why they're always showing symptomatic responses. So that's what I just wanted to share. I just wanted to share with you guys to think about it all in a different way. And it's either that your child needs to get something poked in their arm, I'm not going to say the word, and that's what's going to make their immune system stronger. They're telling you what they're doing to you. Remember, we live in a world that operates off of universal law, or AKA galactic law. Your oppressor, or the people that are oppressing us with lies, they have to tell you what they're doing to you before they do it. And it's up to you to use your free will to make a decision. Now, if you're ignorant, then your free will is going to be operating off of a base of ignorance. But if you know better and you continue to operate off of what they tell you, then that's when you become someone who's willfully ignorant. So when they tell you that we're giving you something to poke inside your body that's going to strengthen your immune system, it means that we're giving you something to allow you to be more open and susceptible to intaking more toxins and keeping them inside your body without your body illustrate any symptomatic responses. So in other words, let me go back to the boo-boo analogy, so taking dump analogy. I think you guys it'll resonate more with you when I keep it with taking dumps, because we take dumps. Everybody knows about taking dumps. That's analogous to me saying, I'm going to give you medicine to not allow you to go to the restroom. It'll keep your boo-boo in. You never have to boo-boo. I'm increasing your immunity to toxins. The body doesn't want it to increase its immunity. The body does not want to be immune from toxins. The body wants to be hypersensitive to the toxins so it can excrete it. The body is a regenerative machine. And I hate to call the body a machine because it's much more divine than that. But I'm going to use that term machine because that's something that's relatable that you guys can actually, comprehend. We understand how machines work. It's a robotic response. It's a sequence response. It's a do this, do that, do that. It's robotic. The body is constantly pushing out toxins all the time. Just like you're constantly breathing, inhale, exhale, it's an involuntary action. The body has an involuntary action like a machine. It is not up to you to dictate what the body does. But when they're telling you that we're going to put something in your child's arm to make your child immune to certain diseases, what they're telling you is that we're going to give you something. We're going to put something in your child that's a toxin. And usually when children get these things put in their arms, what usually happens? What does the pediatrician usually tell the parents? Oh, don't worry, your child may have an allergic response. They may have a fever and run a temperature, but that's quite normal. That's not quite normal. That's the body letting you know that you just injected into my body a toxin, so the child is automatically having a response, getting warmer, generating heat to push that toxin out. When the body gets warmer and the temperature of the person is increased, it's because the body is using its energy. It causes the person to be weaker. It weakens the person, which is why the person usually loses appetite. They're fatigued. But that's intentional. The body shuts you down so you're not using any energy for movement. It needs you still so it can work on excreting this toxin that's been put inside of the body that's impacting the cells. So usually you parents know this. And dads, if you're listening to me, you know this of children. When you go to the pediatrician, they tell you, we're going to give your child the thing. When they give your child the thing, they usually tell you that if they run a fever and they run a high temperature, it's normal. It's a normal response. Yes, it's a normal response when you put a toxin inside of a pristine body. The body's going to have a symptomatic response. So what I'm telling you is that the thing that the West calls medicine is actually toxins. And what they're doing to people is that they're making you more immune to be toxic filled, which in a way feeds into the depopulation agenda of 2045, I believe. They write these documents in PDF format. You have to do the research. They tell you everything that they're doing to you, just that we don't care to read. All we care about is watching CNN and watching our local news and believing anything that a white man with a suit says. Because trust me, if I was blonde-haired, blue-eyed, you guys would really listen to what I'm telling you. But because I'm a melanated person, I'm automatically given the identification of a person that doesn't know what the hell I'm talking about, but I know what I'm talking about. They're making your body more susceptible to be vectors of toxin, which actually shortens your telomere capsules. The telomere capsules is what allows you to live longer. The longer your telomere capsules, the longer your life expectations will be. The shorter it is, the shorter your lifespan. It's a depopulation agenda. Those things that they were putting in people's arms because of that thing that happened in 2019, I can't say it, that was a depopulation agenda as well. Everyone's not going to drop dead the day they get the thing. That's not how depopulation works, because you need people to be alive to bag up the bodies. You can't kill everybody at once, but you do decrease lifespan. You do increase the chances of getting more diseases within the body, and thus increasing the revenue of the pharmaceutical industries, because they're the ones that come in and swoop down to save the day by saying we have a new medicine, we have this. I mean, watch your TV at home and watch all of the medicine commercials that come on. It's an industry for profit. It's not a healthcare system. It's a sick health system. All right, it's a sick care system. Excuse me. There's nothing healthy about the healthcare system, the modern healthcare system as it's currently constructed. There's nothing healthy about it. So that's what they've been doing. If you leave the body alone, the body will constantly always push out toxins automatically. And I think a baby's body is a clear example, and it's quite evident, and actually gives us the contrast of a newborn, pristine, and an older adult. The older adult, over the years, has accumulated much toxins, and we feel, oh, they're more immune and stronger. No, they're actually weaker. They're dying slowly. The baby that's constantly pushing out the toxins is telling you that, hey, I want this out of my body, because it's trying to go back to homeostasis and go back to a balance that keeps the body functioning at its apex. Okay? So that's my spiel, man. I just wanted to share that with you guys and tell me what you think. But I truly believe that the less you show symptoms, like the other day, remember I told you guys I was stuffy, runny nose, and all that stuff. And I don't, my coworkers think, oh, are you not feeling well? No, I tell them I'm feeling well. My body is cleansing itself. And they look at me, I cleansing itself? What? People are under the idea that the more you don't show symptomatic responses of excreting toxins out of your body, that the more healthy you are. I would make the argument and say that the more symptomatic responses you show, it shows that your body is functioning the way it's supposed to function. So hence you are healthy, because a healthy body will repel toxins. I'll give you an example. A person who has a clean house, that's normal, right? To clean your area, to clean your restroom, to clean your kitchen, to clean the areas where you're at, right? So if a person is constantly cleaning out the dirt out of their homes, we would look at that person like a person who's functioning normally. But a person who sits there and wallows in the mire of their own filth, all right, and they're living in a bunch of mess, and their house looks totally disheveled, you're gonna look at that person like, is there something wrong? Why are you not getting up cleaning your area? Cleaning your area is a normal thing. Well, the body cleans its area. When the body feels like there's too much toxins somewhere, it pushes it out. I work out, I eat right. So I'm not working out to eat right to never show symptomatic responses. I'm working out and eating right so I do show symptomatic responses when my body has toxins in it. And the body's like, I got to get this out. So if I'm not getting enough sleep, because sleep is a way to put the body in balance. Having a well-rested body is the way the body repairs itself. So if I'm going through days and days and weeks without getting sleep, my body will show a symptomatic response. Does that mean that my immune system is weak? But it has nothing to do with immunity. It is common sense. Maybe if I get more rest, my body will come back to homeostasis. It'll come back to being balanced. Therefore, my cells, from a cellular level, the things that are in my body start to function optimally, then I'm not showing any more symptomatic responses. Now my body's on guard. My cells that are punching all of the toxins out, they're ready to go to war. And any toxin that they see is like a windshield wiper. Whoop, wipe it out. Next, wipe it out. When it accumulates, when the toxins accumulate and they get too much, then your body starts to slow you down. You get fatigued and you're tired. And the body's like, I got to push all this stuff out. It's the same thing that happens when you guys go take a shit, when you take a dump. Like you eat, the body's like, I'm going to take these nutrients, I'm going to take these chemicals that I need, and the rest of the stuff, I'm going to push it out. Okay? So I want you guys to think about that. The fact that they're telling you to get your immunity stronger, they're telling you to be a higher, to have a higher receptivity, and to be a vector of disease, to be a vector of viruses, to be a vector of negative or bad bacteria, to be a vector of toxins. That's what a strong immunity does to you. Why would you want to be immune to something that's bad? I don't want to be immune to that. I want to be sensitive to it. That's like telling me I'm going to numb your hand to make you immune to pain, but I'm going to saw it off with a chainsaw. So, but if I saw off your hand with a chainsaw and you feel no pain, you won't know that I'm cutting off your hand. But if you feel pain, you're going to scream to the high heavens and be like, oh, my hand, you're cutting my hand. You see that? That alert system is good. So when the body is pushing out toxins, we shouldn't stop that. We should keep it going. There's no such thing as immunity. There's no such thing as an immune system. That's just something that was drudged up by the virologists who stemmed the whole medical industry's practices based upon a theory called germ theory. Do the research on germ theory. The whole medical industry is functioning off of a theory that has not been proven. And this is why modern medicine is actually killing us and not making us better. We need to go back to ethnomedicine. If you don't know what ethnomedicine is, look that up. Is the use of using herbs and plants and foods to heal people, not what we are doing currently in our time. All right, thank you guys for listening. Leave a comment to me what you guys think. All right, bye.